All right, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hey, it's Monday, November 26, 2018. Let's do our Forex trading strategy session. Let's go. So happy trading day. Markets are moving. Good opportunity for us to get together as a community. By the way, my name is Wayne McDonald. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. We're a foreign exchange brokerage firm, and we'd like to earn your loyalty and respect. We do that through these webinars every single day. I'm here to help you with technical and fundamental analysis. And if you find these webinars entertaining, helpful, encouraging, supportive, all that kind of stuff, then please visit TradersWay.com and pay it back by opening up a demo account. It takes 30 seconds. You can test out our execution speed, our spreads, and of course, if you want, our world-class customer service. Also, I'd like to thank Forex.Today for hosting us once again. Please remember to subscribe so that when I do these live events, you are notified, and if you're available, you just click a button, you're brought right in. Please like so I can judge whether I'm covering the right topics. And of course, if you like our templates, the weekly pivot points, the daily pivot points, the monthly pivot points, the moving averages, the oscillators, the profiles, all of that, it's just click on the link in the description below and download them for free. Coolio. So once again, visit tradersway.com, eh? So let's move over to the disclaimer. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Yes, thank you, Joe. Please click like, and like I said, please subscribe. It's just easier for everybody. That way, you don't have to sit around waiting. You're invited right in. All right, so I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Markets were up, the markets are down. Guess what? Great. So right now, the markets seem to be up around the world, despite even not so good economic news and all that kind of stuff. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking some traders want to make their year-end bonus. So they got between now and Christmas to make some mucho dinero, right? Yeah, so they got about a month to make some serious pips, right? So that they can earn their year-end bonus, the big bonus. I mean, like, imagine you're a hedge fund trader and you make like $300,000 a year salary, but you might get $1 million bonus if you can hit your numbers, right? Yeah, you're motivated, is all I'm saying. So time to make some money. Maybe it's moving week. Who knows, right? Did the swing trade group meet? No. Well, first of all, on Friday, it was a holiday in United States of America, so there was no trading Thursday, no trading Friday, no trading Saturday, no trading Sunday, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, there was an issue with the website, so guess what? As soon as I got back from holidays, I spent all night fixing that. And, well, actually, the programmers fixed it, but, you know, I was here emotionally for them. So a giant waste of time and money, but yeah, everything's fixed. All new code. We wiped the server absolutely clean. Absolutely all new code for everything, and then all the plugins and all the custom code and all that, all redone. I haven't actually had a chance because by the time we got it fixed, it was 1 o'clock in the morning and I was sleeping. So, but the theory is everything's good there. So don't worry. Hey, Henry. Been a long time. Yeah, so anyways, everything's good. Everything's good. But no, did the group meet? No. No, it was a holiday. Okay, so we got what 4 or 5 more meetings, so that's pretty good. We got some new announcements for the swing trading group coming up very, 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 very shortly. Things are going to go from amazing to like friggin' amazing. So, let's just go through it. These are pivots. Yeah, let's not do the yen pivots quite yet. Let's take a look at gold and oil. Let's take a look at some dollar pairs and yen pairs and stuff. All right, so gold, if you remember here, right, double bottom, higher high, higher low, buy. Higher high, higher low, buy. Higher high, higher low, maybe, right? Is it heading up? You see how we have this? Didn't quite get this pullback. Okay. Tradable if you want. Okay. Now, if you're a bear, you're like, that's it for gold. That's it. No more. Enough of this nonsense. Then you're welcome to join the party right in where we are now. Okay. Up, 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 up. Remember, you got to look left to turn right. You watched cars, right? So anyways, yeah, a bear's going to try here. Okay. Like, why wouldn't they, right? Well, let's go through it. Why would they? How about that? Draw text. Let's try that. Okay, we could call this, I don't know, monthly M3. Seems reasonable, right? Monthly M3 is right here. I'll sit it right on top. Oh, okay. And then we could say, we can call the next reason, how about weekly M3? And the interesting thing about these M3s is they're selling pivots. If you were a burr, that's where you'd be burrish. Okay? Yeah, good morning to everybody. Good morning. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Oh, I was in beautiful Florida. It was warm. And now I'm back in horrible Atlanta. Okay. Chuck says, a bit late in the month for using this. Yeah, but it still is. It just is, right? Like, we don't have to make it overly complicated. If it went a little higher, so like to fit with Chuck's leading edge mind here, if we were up here, Chuck, I think we can agree that that seems to be a top for a weekly swing buy, which already happened, right? You should already have done that if you were going to do it, right? So we're up here, and then you look left. That looks like reasonable level of resistance, correct? And then the big bears, they're going to play it like next month's low, right? Alan says, where in Florida? St. Augustine. What a neat place. I know somebody. There was an FX boot camper from St. Augustine. Seemed like a really nice guy, fun guy. And for the life of me, I couldn't think of his name. So anyways, so Chuck, if you think it's late for the M3, then let it go a little higher and catch next month's M3. Oops. Next month's M3 is there, right? Do it that way. Hey, Henley. Hey, Colton. That's what you do? Cool, right on. Good play, sir. Good play. I would then back out and say, look, all of this is just gobbledygook sideways nonsense anyways. So, but if you're a gold trader, why not, right? Or if you're advising people that own physical gold, they're always going to want to know your outlook. So you could say, well, we're toppish right now, probably not going to go much higher over the next 30 days. And there's some potential for downside, but it doesn't look overwhelming right now. Silva, I don't pip and tell. Will you? Yes, Colton. Is everyone subscribed? Don't forget to subscribe, my friends. All right. La 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 la. Let's go to WTI because this is the one I've been using as a litmus test, right? And it's just down and down and down. So there I am. I think it was Thanksgiving Day. And my wife's like, what are you doing on your phone? I'm like, look, oil's at $50 a barrel. I wonder what it's going to do. Right? This is funny. Oh, you always got to have your thinking cap on. All right, WTI. What are we going to do? WTF. Okay. Well, here's the perfect place to buy, and there's the perfect place to sell. And I don't want to buy. And I told you that weeks ago. I don't want to buy this. Okay. We've looked at places where it could bounce and reverse, but I'm not looking to buy it since about it was the previous X, wasn't it? Since about here, this big arrow. So I'm not even looking to buy. Look at these great selling opportunities. Lower low, lower high, sell. Lower low, lower high, sell. Lower low, lower high, sell. I had plan A and plan B all lined up for you guys. Down, 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 down. Lower high. Look at this. Here's another one. Sell. Lower low, lower high. Again, easy sell. Lower low. This should be another easy sell. And it will continue to do this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It will fall forever until it reverses. That's why when I get to things like this, I'm like, walk away. So, we know there's some supply issues and there's demand issues. PMIs have been disappointing, but I don't know. I don't know if they're the right measure for activity. So, but we do see this downward move. There's a bit of a slowdown in China, and like I've described over and over and over, it's the Europeans' fault. So once they figure their stuff out and start making some money, then they'll start buying Chinese products. And as Chuck says, set up for next month. Yeah, like when is the actual first? Is it Monday? Yeah, so the 3rd is Monday. So, yeah, you could. It's a slight early on front running, Chuck, but there's definitely no reason why you can't. I would instead kind of let this finish what people want it to do. Remember, bears want to take it somewhere. I would say they're probably going to try to get it down to the support pivot. And then this is where I'd start by the end of the week looking for like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. And if you want to be a cheeky monkey, you could take it off there. And then, you might even want to buy the 1, 2, 3 off of that. But right now it's all just talk, right? Like I said, this is a place where you could expect that, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And as a bull, I say just let it happen. Let it happen. Don't be the first one in. If you get an opportunity after an inverse head and shoulders to buy it off of a monthly M2, yeah, then you simply say, oh, well, now that we have a reversal pattern, my target would be M4. And it is. You know what I mean? It's not good, not bad. It's not risky. It's not unrisky. It's just it just is very Taoist, right? Yeah, right. And as Chuck says, you got to have a clear reversal first. So it's very interesting because crude oil is, I think, an important macroeconomic indicator. Okay. Yeah, Arthur, we'll do USD yen. I'm happy to do that for you guys. Okay. So anyway, so that's critically important, and it still hasn't reversed. Still hasn't reversed. So we have risk on today in the markets, but it's not quite believable. Like I said, maybe all the negative fundamentals have been played out, and now it's game on, risk on till the end of the year to catch year-end bonuses, and I'm fine with that. But I wouldn't count today yet as sort of it's going to be good for the rest of the year now. You know what I mean? Yeah, just cool and calm. All right, so you can see if you're chasing price, you're going to get into trouble, right? But if you're setting up trade plans, there's beautiful little trades going on. I'm going to just clean this up, actually. Let's just redo this one. What do I do? Oh, yeah, template. Okay. And if oil goes up, this goes down. That's all it is, right? So if you're swing trading, this is a half decent buy, which of course has already happened, so you've missed it. And then this area is a sell, right? All pretty easy. Do you want to be a bull or do you want to be a bear? Well, right now you can see this is a lower low, lower than that. So at least on the shorter period, you'd say bears have the advantage, right? Because we got, that didn't work, I don't know. Come on, Bubba. Okay. Like, because that low is lower than this low, then you'd think the next low would be like that, right? Doesn't have to be that way. Bulls can take it off of that M2 and all that kind of stuff. But you don't want to get a habit of buying lower lows. I don't care how bullish you are. You don't want to make it a habit. Sometimes it's appropriate, but you don't have to be the first one in this game, right? And if you were going to be the first one in the game, you should have done it like at the swing open, right? I mean, that's a clear buy, but this is also a clear sell. So if you didn't do this and you didn't do this, then I recommend you just don't do anything. If you didn't buy here or sell here, it just shows that you're either not at your charts or you don't really know what's going on. So just be careful there, right? So JM Machaj is trying to spam us with his garbage. So, hey, JM, just disappear. All right. So I blocked his comment. All right. See what I mean? So I would, I'd prefer if because I'm a trend trader, right? Or I try to be a trend trader. Lower low, lower high, that makes sense. Lower low, lower high. That just makes more sense to me than buying dips. So, but if it came down and then made a higher high, right, then you can sort of buy a dip here and work your way up. This is I mean, the only way you'd want to do this, if you were right there, right at the open, and even that's fairly risky, but you can get yourself in and jam your stop and then hope for the best, right? Yeah, Chuck, you can red flag them though as a viewer though, can't you? Look at that though, huh? Look at a month. Look at the month we've been in. It's been a tough October. So what do we do? Like you know, I do want this to go up. Hey, Big That, thanks for subscribing. Welcome to the family. So boom, 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 right? So I think you know, even with the idea of front running euro dollar for next month, you know, even a bull wants us to come down to, what do you want to call it? A dip closer to 113. One more drop, and then we buy it back. So you know, right now I'm eyeballing this. You're from India? Right. Cool. Thank you, Kumar Tracker. Why, you don't like me as a coach? I'm not coaching you well. So let's move over to pound dollar. All right. Okay, now, where are we going from here, huh? So once again, we just sort of have these really basics. Like, I like to look at a market and see a trend. Like, we are going here, we're going there. And in fact, I spent, a month or two every day on it. I'd say, all right, where's the market going? You know, is the market bullish or bearish? And if it's bullish, where are they taking it? If it's bearish, you know, all that kind of stuff. So in this case, you know, it was down, and then it was up, and then we're back down, and we're kind of now sideways over the holidays. And, you know, I look at it, it's like it's not really going anywhere. So it adds a level of caution. Now, it doesn't mean it can't go somewhere, but you're going to have to check your risk, right? Now, with that in mind, we started the week in a bullish zone. There we go. We started the week in a bullish zone, but now we've rallied up into a bearish sell zone, right? So if you were a bull, that was okay in the morning. It wasn't great. It was okay. But now you're definitely in this scenario if you're a bear. And we know bears do exist on the pound, right? Now, the dollar's fairly weak this morning. So if you're selling pound versus the dollar, you're probably going to do better somewhere else. You might want to look at pound yen, pound Swissy. Now, if it's risk off today, guys, if it's risk on today, dollar should be weak. That's why I'm saying this might not be the best short. Dollar should be weak. Swissy should be weak. Yen should be weak. So maybe it's a euro pound play and that kind of stuff, right? Prahat Kumar says, could you please tell me intraday which time frame I mostly prefer? Well, even on intraday, I trade all of them, right? So you start on the 4 hour and you develop a bias. Are you a bull or a bear? And I get here and I'm like, I'm not really either, right? So I'd probably look at this and say, nah, skip, okay? But from here, you create a bias or just a strategy for the day, right? So like, okay, if you are a bear, yeah, this is a great place to sell right in here. Beautiful roll reversal right at the M3. So I kind of folded into a generic sorted downward trend sort of weekly swing trade plan. And then I drop into like a 15-minute chart. And from there, I make my tactical decisions. Okay. Okay. And then very often on this time frame, I would prefer an oscillator, right? So I could then change this and say, you know, use this scenario. Okay. Right. So pretty standard intraday type setup. Well, the 4 hours, I'm simply creating a strategy, or sort like in the sense of, am I going to be a bull today or am I going to be a bear today? Okay. Once I make that decision, then that decision is done. I don't need to look at it anymore because now, if I'm a bear, I know I want to sell at resistance. So now I just drop into a smaller time frame. Where's resistance? It could be a monthly pivot. It could be a weekly pivot. It could be a daily pivot. Most likely, what I prefer first is price action and then a higher pivot, right? And then once I've made that decision, so I'll mark my charts, right? And I'll say, okay, here's probably a good area based on price action, which is a separate layer from the larger 4-hour strategy, right? And then I start using, oscillators and stuff, okay, to time entries. Okay. Okay. Woo, there you go. Okay. Does that make sense? It's a 15-minute chart. Okay. Now, once I get to that level and we approach something, so let's say it bounces here and then comes up here on this 15-minute chart. So that's like an hour from now. Then I drop into my 5 and I'd look for the drop off of that kind of thing. Or like I'm already doing that here, for example, right? Do. And I drop lower and lower and lower. So by the time I want to pull the trigger, I'm on the 5 and 15. Okay. And then, so this is Aussie yen. Let's just go over and do all of the yen pairs. La 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 la. There we go. Yeah, well, we got a lot going on this week. We got some central banking babble, right? And then we have the G20 this weekend, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sorry, Mahmoud. Mahmoud. I'm really sorry. I apologize. Yeah. You got me, brother. You got me. I'm so ashamed. Okay. All right. Okay. So here we are. We'll start with Euro Yen. It's good. Euro really took off this morning. Okay. Swing traders would see this fairly easily, right? The market opened right here on top of the M2. So our target would naturally be a weekly M4, which is about here, okay? Then you have to ask yourself, is this going to be superseded by some other level of resistance? And clearly, this is interesting. It's a monthly pivot, but top. So anyways, it took off right at the open and never stopped. So now we're asking ourselves, where do we go from here, right? And this is tough because you're going to want to buy a dip, right? I mean, this is what you're naturally thinking. You're going to want this to come down and you're going to want this to go up. But here's the problem. It's not really trending, right? That's a trending play. Like that's like a Fibonacci retracement extension play, but we're not trending. You see what I mean? Oh, the beach was great, Simon. No, Kumar, I did say shorter time frames are fine, but if you don't have a strategy, you're just not going to win. That's it. So if you just drop into a small time frame, that's fine. And you can always find things to do down there. But you're like a baby in a bathtub just splashing water around, making a bunch of noise and a terrible mess. if you don't have a strategy. So if you don't have a fundamental or technical strategy or bias, you're going to get destroyed by somebody that does. The reason for that is simply that if I have a bias, I know what I'm going to do before I do it. And if you don't have a bias, you don't know what you're going to do. Thank you, Peter. You don't know what you're going to do if you don't have a bias. So therefore, I have the advantage. So anyways, guys, so I'd be careful with this, especially on such a good move. And I'm sure after the holidays, you're like, yeah, finally, euro yen going up. Yeah, this is so great. And everyone on TV is like, oh, this is great. Macroeconomics. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Risk on. Yeah. And then, so the way I look at it is it moved sideways last week. It moved sideways the week before. It's going to move sideways this week. And we've simply went from support to resistance. And until it breaks, it's going to keep moving sideways. And if I'm a bull, that means buy. And then when you're up here, maybe take profit. Remember, there's no hope in Forex. None. None. So if it's been sideways, it's going to continue being sideways forever and ever and ever and ever until it breaks. And then if it breaks, you know, then that's easy too, because you know how to trade a breakout, right? You let it break out and let it come back and catch a rule reversal, and that would be probably next week or next month's pivots, and we're off to the races. So see, like the way I look at it is this is obvious support, and again, this is the buy swing pivot. So if you know how to swing trade, like that's clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, a buy, especially if you're already bull, which you have to be. So you're like, okay, price action support. Swing entry, like obvious, right? And then into resistance. Well, that's not support. If you're a bull, you're looking for support. Where's the next level of support? Here? No, because it's range bound. It's not a higher high, higher low. So where is the higher low? Breakout, pullback, right? There's your role reversal, 1, 2, 3 type setup. So this is support and that's support. And that's it for this week. Okay? That's it for the week. I know you want more, and it's been hyped up, and if you missed the swing on Sunday morning, you're like, oh, man, but now I want to get in. Well, it might go up from here. It could, but I don't have any sort of – it's not a real trade plan. You could buy it, and maybe it goes up, but nobody said use a Fibonacci trend trading tool in the middle of a range-bound market. No one's ever said that. So buy or buy, and then the rest is just shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay, and that's probably the best currency we got going on. If we do have global macroeconomic improvements, or that's the hype for today, that's today's juice, USD should be weak and yen should be weak. So I'd caution you making this trade as well. It's not really a good trade. It might be going up. Well, what were you doing, let's say, Sunday morning? Or sorry, Sunday afternoon. Well, even then, you see it's out of position because the buy zone was down here. So, you know, it's up doesn't mean it's a good trade. Okay. What else? You could play it. This you can play with a fib. But even it hasn't even done that, right? Unless what you can mark it this way. Let's see if I can even do it that way. That's pretty. We call that backfilling. That's what you can do that in back testing as well. Search and search and search and fit your strategy to the past performance. But anyways, this is like the only thing you possibly could play on this. But bear in mind, no matter what you find here technically, fundamentally it's probably a dumb idea. Okay, and you got to get that. You got to get that. Why is trading USD yen not the best thing to be doing today? And the reason for it is, up until now, it's been a risk-on day. And on risk-on days, USD tends to weaken, yen tends to weaken. And therefore, you're probably better off being long euro dollar and long euro yen than trading something that should be weak versus something that might be even weaker. And you don't even know which one that's going to be. You see what I mean? So you look at this technically and say, oh, that looks really good. there's got to be probably 6 or 7 pairs that are going to be significantly better than this. So you're looking at the wrong horse. You're betting on the wrong horse. This horse isn't even in the race. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, which horse are you going to bet on? Oh, I'm thinking number 7. You're like, wait, look, I'm looking at the list here. Number 7's not even in our race. Oh, really? Right? Flawed strategy to begin with. So just be careful on that. Okay, and that has to do with macroeconomics. But Kiwi yen, that's fair. So let's go all the way back to the beginning of November, because we're now at the last week of November. In the beginning of November, first week of November, we said, guess what? We've hit our target. In fact, it was a cluster up here. Remember that? Does anyone remember the advice I gave? Even though we just rallied from a clear swing entry and just took off like a rocket ship straight into our target. Does anybody remember the advice? We just, like a rocket. Go golfing. Thank you, Chuck. Take the month off. Yes. And I said, look, you could probably sit here and find tons of things to do, but it's very possible you come back in a month and you'll say, oh, it's still 77. So now, this was in the first week of the month, guys. Now we're at the last week of the month. And what's the price? 77. Nothing happened. You're like, oh my God, I've been gone for 3 weeks. What's the Kiwi yen at now? I just made, you made like 500 pips in about a week. And then you take 3 weeks off, you come back. You made 500 pips in the first week, took 3 weeks off, came back, and nothing happened. There's a big difference, right? Now you can see, it went up a little bit and then came back down and all this kind of stuff. But you see the lesson I'm trying to teach you, how to understand the market behavior? What's happened is everyone that wants to buy Kiwi yen made the easy money. The low-hanging fruit's gone. And what did they do? They went and found something else to trade. Meanwhile, you could say, well, this went up 500 pips, so I'm gonna trade, I'm gonna buy it here and try to make some more, which you did, then you're gonna buy it here and make some more, maybe you didn't, and then you're trying to blah, 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 and you're just forcing, right, a round peg into a triangle hole. You're just slamming in there. Come on, go up, go up, go up, keep going up, go up. Whoa, it's not supposed to go up further. And that's really cool, right? Isn't that neat? What kind of person says, oh, well, it's up 500 pips this week. Nothing's going to happen for the next 3 weeks, so just take the time off. Spend time with your family. It's amazing, right? I think it's this scenario where most people lose money. It's not here. They make money here, and then they give it back here, or worse. Yeah, you can keep an eye on it, but just say this run is over. Like, for example, here's another way of looking at it. Okay, using the tools I use all day, every day. Okay? I don't have... They don't tell me anything anymore. Right? Like, I get out my... what do you call it? What did you call it in Star Trek? The old Star Trek? Star date 11/26/18. What do you call it? A tricorder? Tricorder, right? My tricorder goes, dude, I'm scanning it. I'm like, I don't have any accurate readings. If it goes up from here, I don't really know where it's going. Okay, that's all it is. If it goes further than this, I don't really have any pivot tools, for example, to tell me where it's going. Now, on this daily, we do have a daily 21, and that is a buy if you're a bull. But I'm sure you knew that already if you have analyzed, like, put it this way. If you're a bull and you've been waiting to buy the Kiwi yen, and you analyze your charts over the weekend, and you busted out your daily, your 4 hour, your 1 hour, and you're trying to create a strategy. And you're like, on the 1 hour, I don't really like it. On the 4 hour, yeah. Oh, but on the daily, this is definitely a buy zone, and it's on top of an M2 swing, so therefore, I'm going to buy it. Like, if you're doing that kind of work, you're golden. This is the kind of stuff that I try to teach you. If you're just looking around for a trade, oh, do we have a trade here? Do we have a trade there? What's going on? Oh, I should buy it now. Look at that big candle. That's how you lose all your money. Right? You understand, guys? Like, have you gotten that through? Have you tested that whole idea? Running around like a pig, squealing pig, looking for your next stupid trade? We know that fails, right? So if you spent the weekend going through your charts and you're like, well, I want to front run Kiwi yen into December pivots. I was a bull earlier in the month. I'm looking for a rally now. We're getting into that daily 21. I can see the weekly swing. Like, dude, if you're doing that work, this was easy as an easy buy. Childlike. But only because you're doing the work. And you practically made your money already. You're just done, like, right? Like that's that. There it is. That's how you make money. There it is. You were waiting all weekend. You did the work. You have a strategy. You picked your prices. It opened right on your support line, right on your swing, right on the daily 21. You're like, yeah, I'm going to take that risk. And then you put your stop, right? And then your stop's like, boop. Because in 1 hour, you're already up here. 3 hours later, boom. When Asia is actually opening, because this is Kiwi open, right? Asia actually opens, takes you long. Great. You're in. Your stop's now at break even. And you're done. You're done for the week. You're gone. It's gone. What we don't know is if it comes tumbling down. Okay? Most likely, if you're a bull, you're going to say, well, it's going to stay above this area. Right? So now you could move this stop. Actually, let's do it that way. Now you can move your stop from break even, lock in a small pivot, or a small profit, I should say. Okay? And now what you're thinking is this. It's going to come up. It's going to come down. And then you're off to the races, right? And you're just golden. But that's called doing the work, right? Like, I know the vast majority of you, if I just said to you on Saturday, I'll say, okay, Michael, Kiwi yen bull, set up a plan. And explain it to me in great detail. And you're like, okay, well, based on the daily 21, we see it coming into the weekly swing. So my plan is somewhere between the M2 and central pivot on the weekly. You know, I'm going to be at the market when the market's open, at the chart. This is the price. As close to 75.40 as I can get it. Boom! It opens up at 75.38. You're like, oh, snap. You got it. And that's where I'm trying to get you. Right? Right? That is where I'm trying to get you. You're planning your trades, and that's it. The complication and all this stuff starts to fade when you have laser focus. Right? Right? That's why I want you to become an expert in something. So, like, I'm a bull on CAD yen, but I haven't been able to get a bullish move on dollar, right? Or on oil, right? Cool. So where's my buy zone? Right? Where's my buy zone? Right there. That's the buy zone. Seems like if I wanted that, oops, like, can't even catch it now. There we go. So the market opens. Oh, it's even further back than that, isn't it? Yeah, here. Okay, the market opens here. And I want to be long around 85.22. And it opens at 85.28. right? Like you're like, oh. Well, see, Jimbo, that's why I said, I don't know how long ago it was now, 3 weeks ago. I just walk away. I'm not even looking for it. It's just like when it reverses, then I'll be interested again, right? If the market is falling and falling and falling and you're a bull, at some point you got to have a line in the sand where you're not going to participate. And I was clear about that. Right? Just you need to walk away. And have that skill to just say, all right, this thing is just collapsing. Like, I don't know why there was so much risk off in October. I just don't know why, but that's a good opportunity to say, maybe I should stop trading. Okay. Or if you're doing good trades and they're just break even, Jimbo, another skill is just to be comfortable with that. And it's hard. I always talk about sort of being elevated above your trades, and you're at sort of a spiritual level, if you will, like a monk, and you need to learn. And again, I don't know if you can ever fully get there, but it's plausible, where you're simply carrying out trade plans. All right, Jimbo? And what you want is to say, okay, I'm a bull, and I recognize the market's falling. That's first. But I see a reversal pattern developing at support. So I am simply going to have a bullish trade plan, not because I'm forcing it, but because it's offering me a potential reversal right where I would expect it. It's almost like a trap. It's trapping you, right? You're like, aha, I'm going to attack if there's a reversal pattern at this price. Well, all of a sudden at that price, it's developing a reversal pattern. Well, as a bull, you might say, well, I kind of have to trade that. It won't reverse if no one participates, right? So you can set up the trade plan, take the trade plan, manage it like you're buying a dip in a downtrend, which is risky. So you cut the lot size in half, or you have a smaller stop, or whatever your response to that increased risk is, and you simply take it. And it fails. You're like, well, that's exactly why I had half the lot size, right? Or even better, I find on the long run, you just don't trade it until it has reversed. Right? And so you wait, and it almost sets up, and it's almost there, it's almost perfect, then it collapses. Either way, you kind of have to float above like some sort of trading monk or Buddha or something. And you know, right? It's not your fault. It wasn't a bad trade. It wasn't a good trade either. It just was a bullish setup, and you're a bull. You took it. You didn't lose you lost hardly any money, maybe not at all. And you just look for the next price. Where's the next level of support? Okay. But on top of that, what I'd rather you, instead of now trying to become a monk, I'd rather you say, I'm a bull. This market is not bullish. Therefore, and then you put together some sort of idea. Hey, Mutash, thank you for subscribing. You see what I mean? I'd rather you get there and get, I'm a bull. The market conditions are not bullish. Therefore, market conditions are not favorable for me to be trading. And another thing you could even say, and I'd write this down, like if you're taking notes here, in a situation like that, you're a bull, but the market is not bullish. You say, today, I am not going to lose a lot of money. You should remind, I'd even say it out loud. Okay, I'm a bull. This is bearish. Yes, I'm at support, but there's going to be additional risk. And therefore, I decree I will not lose a lot of money in a market like this. Because you're supposed to be aggressive when the market is favorable. When you're a bull and you're buying dips, fire for effect. Go, crush it, right? But when the market conditions are not favorable, that's when you throttle back. Okay? And that's the way it ought to be. So, right? So look at like, here's October swing trade, right? There's the buy, there's the target. And this was another one where I say, look, I don't really know. I don't know anymore what it's going to do the rest of the month. What did it do? Well, it didn't really go down. It didn't really go up. It just stopped doing. And I was clear here, like, I don't know what it's going to do next. That seems like pretty good. Okay? So now what are you going to do? Well, if you're going to try to front run next month's pivots, right? Well, you got that. We're not quite there yet. And then, of course, this was a buy, and that was a bit too early. So once again, you have to make a decision based on your bias. Now, if you go to this morning, like I've already shown, let's do it on a 15-minute chart. Oh, there it is. I wondered it wasn't catching up. This was a buy zone on Sunday afternoon. If you're a bull, it's a buy zone. Okay? And if you're scratching your head, you're like, Wayne, I have no idea why you're saying that that's a buy zone on Sunday morning. Then what you've uncovered is you don't know how to trade pivot points. Maybe you need to visit fxbootcamp.com and take the swing trading course. Maybe you need to buy a book. Maybe you need to watch one of the bajillion videos. I think there's 4,000 videos associated with my work on YouTube. 4,000. So there's got to be something out there, right? There's got to be something out there for you to do, but okay. And that buy zone leads us to this pink zone up here, which, as we know, is just back to the top, right? Then we have to ask ourselves, is it going to go further up? Is it going to come back down? I would like this to go up in December, and then I'm going to crush this in January. Okay. This would be cool in January. Where would we be in January? Maybe here? I don't think we're going to be at 88. Do you guys think so? I guess why not? Let's do it this way. Wouldn't this be great? New Year's Eve. I come in off the beach. My tight skin with golden tan. And my hair bleached from the sun. And I come in and I'm like, sow, 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 sow. Yeah, that's true, Ricardo. Over the weekend, some loser was able to put in a referral script. So we spent the weekend. What a giant waste of money. But anyways, we spent the weekend. We stripped the server of all the code and reinstalled all new code and all new database and all new everything and all that kind of stuff. So that has been fixed. But that was true, Ricardo. Not really hacked. It's not even the right word. It's more like, you know, entering a referral script is like someone, whatever. Nothing to worry about. So anyways, yeah. So yeah, I'm already planning January's trades. That is true. Now somebody asked for an Aussie dollar. I'll do that for you. By the way, I got another A at Harvard, and it looks like I may graduate in the top 10% at Harvard. And I get an extra little treat for that. and get into like the honor society and on the dean's list and all that kind of stuff. I'm so close. But I got another A, and there's no A pluses at Harvard. So I just got an A, and I think I got close to 100%. But there's no bonus points for an A plus. But anyways, I'm super excited, and I got more finals coming up, and I have a group project on real estate development. I have to do a presentation and pro forma cash flows and all these different things. Oh, it's going to be an interesting week. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's hard work, man. All right, so here's the Aussie dollar. This just goes back to our old stuff. Okay. And you can see we started the month bullish, right? Pretty standard stuff. Swing up, hit our target either the second or third week, depending on whether your target was conservative, which is M4, or aggressive, which is R2. So by the middle of the month, we were done. And so now you have to decide, are you going to buy it up off of the December pivots? Thank you, Raymond. Appreciate it. I do work hard. I need a little bit of a break, so thank goodness for Thanksgiving. So going back to this, the next, if you want to try to continue up off of the December pivot, we're kind of in there now, okay? And that was the swing earlier today, really in the last 24 hours. So going back to a 15-minute chart, let's see if I can fit this in here. You can see we started the day here, okay? And you see how that's smack dab in the middle of the weekly buy zone, which is, right, which is on top. That's what this blue line, actually I drew it like 2 weeks ago, I think. That's the top of the December buy zone. So today's buy zone is next month's buy zone. So somebody could be front running December for sure. Okay, you see that? Now bears on this, but remember it's been risk on, so it may not be bearish. So like for example, if you're a bear at the market open, bull at the market open, this is probably a place you want to take to the next level. Take me to that higher place, please, my love, right? You're probably doing that. Bears would like to bring it down further, and bulls are actually okay with that on the longer run because they want to buy it down here anyways. But I think if you're a bull here, you're going to try buying it here, and you're going to try to take it up to the target, which is actually, once again, the top of the month for Aussie. Okay. Now, would it have been such a bad thing to just take the month off around the 15th of the month? You're like, you know what? I got Thanksgiving coming up and all this kind of stuff. I'm just going to take the rest of the week off, at least the week, right? Does that make sense? Any other requests for currency pairs? I'm happy to do it. I appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I can do a couple more if you want. USD CAD, I thought I did that. If not, then I apologize. You may have come in a little bit late, but we'll see. So I talked about it earlier in the sense that I want this to fall, but I need oil to rise, and it hasn't quite happened, right? So bulls would have sold this at the open. Again, just swing trading, guys. If I keep saying things like you should have bought this at the open, or you should have sold this at the open if you were a bear, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? You don't know how to swing trade, and you're totally missing a ginormously important part of your trading career. Okay? Just gotta say that. If you don't know what that means, it should be like, you should be falling out of my chair like, holy crap, right? Yes, it's that important. No, I'm not doing lira. Okay? I'm going to focus more on the conservative discipline trades. Okay? But back when I first started teaching you guys about high yield, if you had taken a trade around then, just about now, so it's been probably close to 100 days now, you would have had 100% return, 100% return on investment in the 90 days, or I don't know if it's been a 90 or 100, but whatever, since the summer, I guess, if you'd taken those trades. Now, of course, the whole world's collapsed, and that's incredibly unusual, when it comes to Turkish lira, but whatever. But put that aside. One of the things we were talking about, the power of yield and the power of carry, is that if you had taken those trades now, you would have earned, just on interest, 100% return on investment. So if you invested $1,000 just in yield payments, because remember, every day you get paid an interest payment because you're lending money like a bank. You're like a boss. You're lending money, right? So just out of the interest payments you've been collecting in those 100 days, you're now have $1,000 in interest payments based on your $1,000 loan. That ain't bad, my friend. I don't know where you come from, but that ain't bad. Now, of course, the world collapsed and you would have lost way more money on the pip side, but on the yield, and that was what I was teaching back then. So anyways, let's go back to this. Bulls, you're supposed to buy here. Bears, you're supposed to sell either here, which you would have had at the open, or if you're a bear, the next one's here. So like bears, plan A, plan B. Okay? And bulls only have this as plan A. There is no other plan. So bulls buy here, bears sell here and here. Done. Okay? The problem with any of this is I don't have the macros behind it. I don't have the macroeconomics behind it. So it's very difficult to trade. Okay, unless you're simply saying you're going to buy USD CAD because you believe CAD's going to be weak because you see oil falling further. But as of an hour ago, the global markets were risk on, which means dollar would be weak as well. And then you would be trading weak versus weak, and that doesn't seem ideal as well. Okay. Yes, we do have a peso trade, as Mickey says, or Highlander, sorry. We have peso trade soon. A little too early. Let's talk about it on Wednesday, right? Same thing with ZAR. Let's not do ZAR right now, Henley. You're in South Africa, so obviously it makes sense for you. But let's not do it quite yet, okay? Please? Okay. Gee whiz. I can't say no to Henley. Do I even have it up here? USD ZAR. I don't think I have it as a real currency. Do I have it up here? I don't think I even have it up here. All right, well, let's make one. This is because Henley is the best. Let's do ZAR. Do I have ZAR here? ZAR? No analysis on it yet. All right, let's just do it here. All right, this is for you, Henley. Let's clean up the chart. Wrong one. La, 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 la. There we go. And now, let's get our rand on. 'Cause I ran so far away. All right. Okay, great. Pretty sure we picked that top, but let's go into where we are now. Okay, we've hit the bottom of the month. Okay, we've hit the bottom of the month. I don't expect South African rand to appreciate anymore. You can do it a little bit, but that's just sort of a rounding error. If you want to kind of, the next monthly swing is above us and down. Now let's go into a smaller time frame, like an hour. Okay, so what that means is for this week, maybe this is a buy pivot, and we come up, we hit our weekly target, and then we drop it like it's hot right here. Now, the problem with that is it kind of creates a new higher high, but we're not looking at it from an hourly point of view. I mean, here we are, but not our strategy. Our strategy is taking it from a higher time frame. Okay, so this would be profit taking, and this would be resumption. Okay, and then this spring, South Africa is going to get punished. Okay, either way, it's about the same. You see that? Either way, it's about the same. And this is where pivots come into play, because you're like, well, Wayne, why wouldn't it just do lower, low, lower, high, 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 lower, low? Because it's going to stop. That's why. And you're like, how do you know that? I know pivot trading. I know how to swing trade. That's a profit zone. People are not going to enter new trades. They're going to get out of old trades. Okay? Jeremy's in Istanbul, huh? Beautiful. Love to visit Istanbul. Anthony, I'm quite sure I spent a decent amount of time on euro dollar. I think going back is not going to be helpful. Why don't you, Anthony, subscribe to the YouTube channel so that tomorrow when I start the webinar, you can come into the beginning and you don't miss any of the analysis, and you can also request whatever you want me to cover. But I did euro dollar, so you missed it. Juan, it's just seasonality. Just seasonality, just fundamentals, no big deal. Anything else? Okay, I think I got everybody, right? Cool. Yeah, I think I got everybody. That's really neat. We did gold, we did oil, we did a whole bunch of dollar pairs, a whole bunch of yen pairs. Cool. Yeah, I think that's enough for today, right? Thank you for subscribing, Mercer. So, like the end of the week is the big deal, right? The end of the week is the big deal. It's the G20. This is where Xi and Trump are supposed to like hug and make up and all that kind of stuff. And that could be what gives us a beautiful December. That could just be risk on all the way. Jim, I don't think so. I think there's nothing new to cover, right? So it's just a holiday week, right? Unless you think it's necessary. I'm happy to do it if you believe it's necessary. Yeah, I mean, we can. Yeah, if you think it's helpful, I'm happy to do that for the swing trading. It was a holiday week, right? And then Sunday I had to like pay someone to spend hours and hours and hours cleaning out the server because one guy injected one line of code into my million lines of code. That's just what the market was, Michaels. I don't determine that. Do I value seasonality more than macroeconomics? Well, it's just a tide. It's not that I value it more. You just know it's coming. No, it's what you think, Jim. Jim, you're the boss, Jim. If you think we need it, I'm happy to do it. Okay? But I just didn't think it was needed, and I would have tried on Sunday, but then I had to do all this other crap thanks to some scumbag somewhere. But can you get pivot points on mobile trading? I don't think so. I don't have them. Cool. Well, thank you, everyone. Beard's coming in, huh? I have an appointment on Friday, the last day of the month, for a hot lather shave, and it's all coming off. So there's my Movember. It's coming in nice, very pretty. So, okay. Sir, what time webinar start tomorrow? The webinar starts at 7:30 a.m. New York time. But if you subscribe, the second I hit the go button on the stream, you'll be notified and it'll go, bing, would you like to join the Forex.Today daily webinar? And you're like, yes, thank you, please. I would very much appreciate that. And you go, boom, and it brings you right in. And we say, there's a seat right here. There's a seat right here. There's coffee and donuts in the back. Yeah, make sure you click the little bell. Thank you for subscribing. Ryan Bishop. Thank you, Ryan. Welcome to the family. Cool. Anything else? Shri Raj. Shri Raj. Is it Shri Raj? Cool. Welcome to the family, Shri Raj. All right. Well, then, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful trading day. Be very careful out there. I feel like things are about to change again now that the holidays are over and traders want to make money, and we got the big G20, and we got some central banking speak and stuff coming up, and then we're all concerned about the December Fed meeting, and there's a lot of interesting good things coming up, and I'm hoping Trump and Xi, like, I don't know, make nice, and the market says this is good, trade war is over, and we just have an explosive December where all the yen pairs are like skyrocket, even blowing through monthly pivots. And then I'm going to just crush that whole market. Crush it. It's like every rocket that goes up, I'm going to take it back down to earth. So anyways, yeah, again, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. And thank you for being a client of tradersway.com, and thank you very much for being a subscriber of Forex.Today on YouTube. See you tomorrow, guys. Thank you.